Welcome to This Week in Sim Racing, June 3rd, 2011 edition. I'm Darren Ganji.
And I'm Sean Cole. This Week in Sim Racing is sponsored by iRacing.com. You can get 3 months for the price of one as an introductory offer by going to our website, InsideSimRacing.tv, and by clicking on any of the banners that you see there.
That's right, and first up on This Week in Sim Racing, a video has surfaced of Dan Grenewalt, who we've met a few times, of Turn 10, and he's discussing their presence at E3, which is going to be really cool. We're going to be there. I'm really excited.
Big show.
And this also shows off some first gameplay footage of FM4 for the Xbox 360, and it shows the Kinect-powered head tracking feature. So it's like a track IR.
Gotta love it.
Dan also says some new Xbox Live innovations are going to be announced. Also 16 drivers, which they've talked about too, which is cool. What, was it 8 last year?
This is really changing the online dynamic of the game.
It is. And we're going to be, as a matter of fact, we're going to be going to a Forza party. Yeah. So I guess it's like an E3 party that they're having. So we're really looking forward to that. But we're going to be tracking down Dan there and hopefully getting an interview. And we're going to have some other really cool stuff at E3, so stay tuned for our coverage of that.
Like the biggest year of E3 ever for us.
Yes, it is.
So on a recent show, we covered NVIDIA 3D, and on that we had a top sim car. It was from the Endurance Racers mod.
Enduro Racers
mod, and it was the Peugeot. So that was our top sim car, and that was just one car of many from this mod. They did a Service Pack 1 a while ago, and with that came many cars, but they have announced a Service Pack 2. They're going to have a whole lot of new additions for that mod, including a whole new GT1 class, which will add the Lamborghini Murcielago. I think I said that right. They've also stated that this is the last work for this mod for R-Factor 1, and they haven't actually promised or said anything about R-Factor 2, but we can all hope that we'll be seeing some of this for R-Factor 2 as well.
Yeah, and I really do hope that these guys do it for R-Factor 2 because they do great work.
Definitely.
Next up, Dirt 3 news, and if you own it for the PC, you may have noticed the other night, it was like May 31st as a matter of fact, booted it up and all of a sudden, game's being updated. I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Just installed it.
Yeah, Sean booted his up. Sure enough, his was updating, so patch was released. I went to the forums, checked it out. Lots of things were added. Unfortunately, I still can't play it on my triple screen system. I have an AMD Phenom system, ATI 5850. You know, we did the Eyefinity piece on it, and I can't boot it up, and this is supposedly an AMD ATI supported game.
It works on my NVIDIA system, but not your...
Yeah, I had to use our backup NVIDIA system. It ran like a champ. So, some of the fixes included occasional loading screen hang, which leave the player with a black screen. Unfortunately, it happens every time on my system. Can't even get into the game. Love you guys, Codemasters, but come on, man, fix this. I want to play it in triples. This guy's playing in 3D in triples with an NVIDIA system. Come on now. Fixed a very rare physics issue which could lead to the player's vehicle falling through the world. Fixed 2 graphics issues which could lead to a crash when changing resolution. Adjusted a small amount of text references and menu options for the VIP pack, which should be referred to as a free car pack for the PC. I like that word.
I just have to download it then?
Free.
I thought that meant money when I saw VIP.
Yeah, me too. And then there's various stability fixes as well. And this is a few things you can see. We have the whole changelog at our forums. We've got a link to it here in the description of this video. And this is just a quick fix. There's going to be a full patch that's going to be available for the PC, PS3, and Xbox 360. And as a matter of fact, we're going to have the Cody's guys here. Not the guys that developed this title, but the guys that are developing F1 2011. But they have Andy Gray with them. And he worked with the Dirt 3 guys, so I'm going to talk to him and show him that this system's not working. And
we shouldn't let him leave till it's running.
That's
on
right.
Your system.
We're going to make him get it working for us. But anyway, going to have those guys here in the studio next week before E3. So interviews with those guys, going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. As
usual, man, we are really looking forward to this year at E3.
Oh, it's huge and just gets better every day.
Yep. So that's going to wrap up this half of the show. Stay tuned for the second half. See all this stuff here we got laying around. I'm going to show you guys what that's all about and more right after this.
The T500 RS wheel and pedal set from Thrustmaster, officially licensed by Sony in Gran Turismo 5 and designed for the most die-hard racing fans. It has unmatched power and precision, it's backlash-free, and totally responsive. With this wheel and pedal set, users will go farther than ever before in their racing experience. To find out where to purchase the T500 RS, visit www.thrustmaster.com.
Welcome back to this week's show, and we're going to get back to some R Factor news. Well, I misspoke. R Factor 2. Virtual R actually posted this story. You pointed it out to me. It's very cool. If you go to the rfactor.net site, which has always been the R Factor site, they've completely changed things, and it now reflects the R Factor 2 logos and has a ton of information, some screenshots, some videos, things they've been releasing on their Facebook page. So this has been going on for a while, but now it looks like the website is coming along, and this is sort of the first glimpse of it really coming to be.
And it's saying TBA 2011, so they're saying a 2011 launch date.
Is that announcing the release announcement, or is that
That's
the
a good question. To be announced is what TBA means. To be announced 2011, that means they're going to announce the release date in 2011. Hopefully it'll be released in 2011. At least they're looking like they're going that route.
Yeah, they definitely are pushing for that kind of date, and this is, like we said, a good sign of the way things are coming.
Good sign of life, as a matter of fact. Yeah, we're working on getting an interview with John Samai, and I've been talking with Tim Wheatley over there, and hopefully we'll have some good stuff.
Yeah.
Next up, if you guys are wondering what we've got sitting on the table here, first up we've got this what's called the HI mod, and this is sent to us from a guy that's, I believe it was in iRacing, and wanted to know if we would like to review it. And I said absolutely. And what this is this turns your G27 shifter into a sequential shifter.
I love this. I haven't even tried it yet. I hope it works as good as it looks, because that shifter is a piece of junk as a multi-speed shifter.
It is. So we're going to be checking that out. And now you got some other stuff here too, don't you,
Yeah,
Sean?
you know, if we go way back in time, inside of here you see a Nixum brake mod. And this was the very first review or mod that we reviewed on our show way back when.
It was our first DIY. That's, yeah, we did it with the G25 pedals.
And the Nixum brake mod was the poor man's load cell. This gave you some extra resistance, a secondary resistance, and just made braking wonderful.
This was actually before load cells were, I mean, the only way you could get a load cell back then was with,
Cannon?
You know, Cannon pedals, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, this was the answer to that with the G25, and then eventually, you know, the Apex Electrics and those, but...
Right.
David Nixum is telling me that this is as progressive of a feel as a load cell or maybe the ARC mod that we did.
Yeah, very similar in terms of that it has a progressive spring, but we're going to be doing a full review on this. Also, so he stepped it up a ton. Also, you've got a new clutch spring.
Yeah.
So the clutch is like the forgotten pedal in sim racing, and it looks like it's going to give you a lot more snap. So That's something coming up. Don't want to go too much into it, but the ARC mod, I talked about all my frustrations with it. And as it turns out, I got it running. So
you did, and yeah, to our surprise.
And with a lot of patience from the team here and from the ARC guys in getting it running. But I take the blame, and it is up and running. We'll get to that soon.
Pretty funny story, and we'll tell you about it during that review. And then one other thing we're going to be reviewing soon is this Race King button box that was sent to us by Derek Spears Design. Got a hold of him again through, I think it was through the iRacing forums. Got a carbon fiber plate on it here, but I've labeled it up for my Indy 500 experience. But anyway, we're going to be reviewing this soon. And speaking of Derek Spears Designs and the Race King, there's a race coming up called the Race King 300. And they're going to be giving away one of these Race Kings. By the way, these Race Kings are going to be limited edition. Okay. He's only going to make so many of this. He makes a couple of other button boxes that are really cool too, with some dials and stuff.
But that is the Race King.
This is the Race King. Yeah, I loved it actually. Like I said, we're going to review it soon, but we wanted to show you guys what was up with this, and then talk about this race they got coming up, Race King 300, and it's going to take place on June 28th, and going to be using iRacing, like we had mentioned, and they're going to use the Nationwide car, hoping that the new tire model is going to be done by then. Steve Lovender is the guy that put together this race along with his partner, and they worked together with Derek Spear to give away one of these boxes. And again, it's going to be a 300-mile race at Daytona with the Nationwide car, and there's going to be quite a deal to get into this race. There's going to be, you know, as many entries as they'll take.
And if that's the prize, they're going to get some entries.
If you want to register for the event, go to raceking300.com. We're going to have the link here in our description, like we've been trying to have for everything we're talking about. And besides WRN covering it, we're going to have a little post-race report here on the show, here on This Week in Sim Racing.
Sounds good. And that takes us to something that we were all involved in, and this is the big Indy 500 at iRacing. And all three of us, Tom, myself, and Darren, all made the fields. We all made different splits, though.
700-something people got to run in the C through Pro class, like we had talked about, which was what we all got to run in.
Yes, so we all did fairly well. I didn't do so well, so I'm just going to...
Actually, none of us finished.
Well, no, I took myself out, just to be quick, and I'm the small story here. I want to first look at Tommy and congratulate Tommy because he made the top split, which, I mean, this was cutthroat. There were guys trying all month long, getting qualifying trim, and for him to make that grid was a huge accomplishment. Yep.
Tommy did good. He almost made it to the end, ran in the top 10 here and there, and had a good race overall for his first big event like that. And I'd like to congratulate Tim Doyle on winning that split. And man, what a battle to the finish. Yang Wu led almost the whole race. Battle with Ron Black at the end. Ron Black, man, oh, he almost won it. It was crazy at the end, just dicing back and forth. And Tim Doyle at the line. Ended up winning it. Yeah, great job, Tim. Congratulations on winning that.
So how about you? How did it work out for you?
I didn't fare so well. I got put into the wall at 56, car destroyed, end of day. What about you?
I took myself out. Snap, oversteer, into the wall. I didn't have enough laps under my belt to be in that race. And just as a note to those out there, for these big events, this isn't a Tuesday 8 o'clock race. You're going to get out there for 500 miles with guys who practice all month. You better be race ready. Because if I had hit somebody and taken them out, and to think that they had spent a lot of time being ready to be there, I'd have felt real bad. So luckily it was just me.
And I didn't have enough time to prepare. I struggled to even make that second split in qualifying. I only had a couple days and a couple chances at qualifying. And then race trim, I was busy all week. So I just stayed back and stayed out of trouble until I got comfortable. I had some, a couple tanks, but I want to give props to everybody that won their split. Also, anybody that finished the 500. That's an accomplishment in itself, and I'd like to give props out to them. So that's pretty much going to wrap up today's show.
Very good show.
Yeah, and just to let you all know, next week we will not have a This Week in Sim Racing because we're going to have a ton of E3 coverage coming for you. Hopefully we will have some stuff out for you by this time next week. Actually, we will have some stuff out for you by this time next week. Lots of great stuff coming from E3. Fanatic News, Thrustmaster, Forza, F1 2011, Need for Speed The Run, all sorts of cool gadgets.
The list goes on. Plus, we've got our Dirt 3 review still to come. We've got two things that came out last week, the NVIDIA 3D piece as well as the Shift 2 review, so lots of content to see.
Yep, check those out and join us in at the forums inside simracing.tv. Hope you've enjoyed this week in Sim Racing, June 3rd, 2011 edition. I'm Darren Ganji.
Sean Cole.
See you guys next time.